Not your story, a story. Since you can't keep your mouth shut long enough for me to read my paper, tell me a story.
I don't think I know any stories.
You don't know any stories?
No.
All right, I'll tell you a story. This is a newspaper, right? It's 90% bullshit, but it's entertaining. That's why I read it, because it entertains me. You won't let me read it. So you entertain me with your bullshit. Tell me a story right now. Go.
My fault. No sound. I don't think the microphone's going to work if there's no audio. You know what I'm saying? If you don't press the button round one to the mic, then there will be no audio. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it works that way. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for tuning in here. Another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I'm always your host, Edwin. Where do all fights start?
Round one.
Round one. Thank you for letting me know that. I probably went on a monologue. I've done that before. But hopefully the audio, you good now? Thank you. Thank you. You know, hopefully the audio is sounding pristine. I've been working on the audio. Earlier today I even put a video because this audio shit was pissing me off. So hopefully the audio is sounding a-okay. Uh and we got a lot to talk about. I don't see a lot of people on today anyway. Today's a Monday, it's my day off. I've already done 3 videos. You know what I mean? So, no, but I did a morning video and I didn't like how the microphone was sounding there neither. So went back, did some adjusting. Hopefully it sounds great. So, just a recap of everything that's been going on boxing. It's been a lot of talk in the boxing world about Devin Haney, and what his next opponent's going to be. Many people are giving him criticism. One day it's, Liam Paro. The next day it's Jack Catterall. Then it's Liam Paro. And, a lot of people want to see him fight Tiger Johnson. Respectfully so. But I want to see him compete against the other countries. I want to see him fight against Liam Paro again for multiple reasons. Australia wants their get back. They want a piece of Devin's ass. Yes, they do. Respectfully. And because he went out there and took all the belts from George Camboza, gave him a shot at the belts again, took him back again. So, technically, that's an undisputed title defense for Devin, the second fight. If he wins all 4 belts in the first fight, he goes in the second fight against Joy. He defends him. He defends him against Loma. So he got 2 title defenses on all 4 belts. Devin Haney. Did he ever give anybody else a shot at those titles? Am I missing anybody? Did Devin put up those belts again? After the Loma fight, he went up, right? But he got 2 title defenses. I sometimes you could miss that about Devin. 2 title defenses on Undisputed. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. He's got that under his belt, So a lot of people want to see him fight Tiger Johnson. Rightfully so. Him, Tiger Johnson, they got into this incident in New York City. Tiger Johnson got stomped out, my people, right? And the thing is that, look, I can respectfully say that Tiger Johnson is a worthy opponent, a worthy adversary. Is he ready for Devin Haney? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Tiger's ready for Devin just yet. Will he? Yes, he'll be ready for Devin. I'm not sure just yet. But in the meantime, Devin's going to continue to get better. You know what I mean? So, what else, Santos Boxing? How you doing? You good now? Yes. YouTube is tripping today. It's not notifying when people are live. That's why that's not many viewers. Yes. Yeah, YouTube has been tripping. They have been. And I guess like YouTube's doing like their annual sweeps of, I guess, the ones that are being watched. So I'm gonna need y'all to do me a favor and hit the like button because YouTube got to see that people are liking my videos in order for them to push out the content for more viewers, everything. So if you're in here, if you're just stopping in, do your boy a favor, reach down, hit that like button for me. It costs you nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it supports channels like myself. You know what I mean? And I appreciate it. Thank you. So, look, as of right now, Devin, he has a couple options. Um, Rolly's running around saying Devin ducked him. Devin priced himself out or whatever. And that the same narrative is coming back down from Keyshawn Davis and Keyshawn's coach. And he's saying to Bill, I saw it on Mill City. He had a recording, a video of him next to a phone, and they were talking like that. I don't know why you didn't tell him. Just hang up the phone and hit the link, and we'll just get this shit popping. But I don't know. He's his own. So when Keyshawn Davis's trainer went on and said, "You guys send us an offer. We sent you a offer back because you sent us an offer. We feel we're worth more." And right there, I knew Keyshawn ducked. Right there, as soon as his trainer said that shit. You know why? There's nothing else you can say after that that will make me believe you didn't duck. It wouldn't matter if Devin Haney got the bulk of the lion's share. That's not what boxing's about. It wouldn't have mattered if Keyshawn Davis took the less of the money. That's not what boxing's about. Boxing's about championship and legacy. You would have took a pay cut on this one. You'd have been the head honcho had you come out on victorious. The only way you don't is you don't think you can win. That's why you ask for more money. At that point, when his coach said that, I knew right there, no, Keyshawn ducked. Because his coach said it. Keyshawn's trainer said it out of his mouth. Who are you to tell us what we're worth? Right there gave it away. You ducked. Devin took less money to fight George. For what? Legacy. He even took less money in the second fight. For what? Legacy. To be able to say he did that. Now look where Devin's at, making the big bucks. Keyshawn, had you beat Devin, you take his star status, and guess what? The big bucks. You made this about money, and your trainer revealed it. You didn't think you could beat him. You was trying to get paid a hefty amount of money to lose. That's what who are you to tell us what we're worth, Bubba? What you mean what you worth? You beat Devin, you get the belt, you get the bag, and the next fight, you get to call the shots. Why couldn't you do that? You know why? Because you was never going to take the fight. Never. You was never going to take that fight with Devin. As soon as his coach started going back and forth, I knew right there. I said to myself, bro, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. Because if I would have got that fish that I wanted on the hook, you don't cut the line. Bro, you went on social media, made all these videos, Debo, Craig's house, all this shit to get the man to agree to fight you. He agrees to fight you, wants to take the lion's share. Okay, take the lion's share. This is not what this is about. This is about me proving I'm on your level. I can beat you and take what you have. And when this is all said and done, I'm walking out that ring with that belt. Once I walk out the ring with the belt, I am now champion again. I call the shots. What was wrong with that? The minute you made this about money, I knew you didn't want to fight him. I knew you didn't want to fight him. And I was like, bro, listen, man, you got to read between the lines on these guys. They're going to tell you the truth. Keyshawn Davis's coach, boom, he told me everything I needed to know right there, right then and there. You're not fighting for legacy. You're not fighting for championships. You're not fighting to prove you're better than Devin. You deserve the spotlight. You deserve the bags. Take everything from Devin. Everything he's built, take it away from him. And you started saying, oh no, I need more money. Bro. And I was just like, okay, cool, bro. You lift your skirt. I saw you. I saw you, right? So now Devin is left scrambling. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to one thing, right? Because I pull no punches. I'm not going to pull any punches, okay? The Puerto Rican belt is the WBO, but they better do the right thing. They better do the right thing because when fighters were WBO just not too long ago said they changing their rank because of fighters like William Cepeda that got all the way up there and was the number one across the board. He wasn't getting a title fight or wasn't taking them, whatever the case was, right? So didn't the WBO implement the rule that if we offer you a fight, you get taken off the list and you get put back in the back of the line? Ain't that's what they said, right? Okay, WBO, I'm gonna call WBO, I'm gonna call you on your shit. You already did this to a fighter. You put him in the back of the line because he didn't take a fight for your organization. Remember, Keyshawn Davis did not take the fight on a purse bid that people bid it $8 million for. You got to take him off your ranking, WBO. Do the right thing. I don't care if Keyshawn's a star and you want to put your belt around him, but WB, and I don't care you're the Puerto Rican belt. And I'm like, oh shit, this Puerto Rican guy is telling on us, like giving us up. No, equality. Equality. If you did it to that guy, you better do it to him. And just because you the Puerto Rican belt, bro, I'm not going to spare you. I'm not going to spare you and be like, no, you guys made up that rule. You're trying to change boxing, make these guys take these fights so that we get the big fights, so that they don't avoid. That's what this rule was put in place by the WBO. So now I'm calling out the WBO. If you offer the guy, he was the number one. He was the man that he fits all the criterias. You got to take him off. And that's just the truth. And if the WBO does not do that, fuck, yo, listen, no, WBO for real, bro. Because you guys did it to other fighters. I'm hoping right now in a few seconds, if anybody in the chat can remind me, who is the fighter that denied the WBO shot and they took him off the list? Remember, it just happened a few months ago. I swear to God, if I find it, it's going to come to me. And these are the things because you see, these belts get away with a lot of shit. Okay? and I promote the belts, but I also promote equality. Remember when the fucking Javante Tank Davis fight started with Frank the Ghost Martin, and a lot of people on social media said, "Yo, Tank Davis, why you putting a rehydration claw on Frank the Ghost Martin?" And Tank came out publicly and said, "It wasn't me. It was who? The WBA." Then the WBA came out and said, "We're doing this new rehydration like the IBF, and we're going to implement it in every WBA match to hold the fighters accountable." Well, damn it. Right after that fight with Tank, I ain't never heard about it since. And if the WBO used that to say that to screw up one fighter, then all of a sudden we don't hear about these fucking rules. Then we like, oh shit, like what the fuck? I thought because Tank Davis was like, bro, I didn't do that. Did it? And everybody was pointing fingers. Since then, I ain't never heard of that fucking mysterious 12 to 13 pound rehydration claw for the WBA. I didn't not like what's the most recent? See, that was a unification though, so that might have took that out. Rolly, Rolly fought with Ryan. He was elevated. Rolly was elevated later. But when he fought Ryan, was there a 12-pound rehydration claw in that fight? That I would like to know. That I would like to, as a matter of fact, see, because these belts get away with this shit. And if we don't say anything or we don't remind you guys, well, wait a minute. What did you make of this rule? Wait a minute. Didn't they do this? Right? Wait a minute. Didn't the WBO said if you don't take a fucking mandatory or an opportunity at the champion that we give you, you fall at the back of the line. So now I would like to see what happens. I want to see if Keyshawn Davis and if they apply that. What fucking bullshit story they're gonna tell us? No, he didn't put in the paperwork. No, he didn't just to keep him up top. Because you guys know how I feel. Boxing's a business disguised as a sport. And they'll bend the rules for one guy. And they, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, just equality across the board. Equal. Equal. What you do to him, you got to do to the other. What opportunity you give to me, give to the other. Just equal opportunity. And, at least try to be as fair as possible for the sport. So, the WBO might just do it. And if they don't, I would love to hear their explanation on why they don't bring them down. As a matter of fact, why don't we check while we're here? Let me put up my box rack and my box. Let me see something. "I see," said the blind man as he reached for his saw and hammer. A blind man with a saw and a hammer? You might have to go to the. Okay, so that would be at, yeah, 140, right? No, 147. They took him off. Hold up. To Devin. Yo, you're the shit. You're the best belt in the world. Oh, they took him off. They took him off. No, why he dropped down to 7? You're the fucking best belt in the world. At least you're fair. Oh, that's awesome to see. Yes. Yeah. You see, because you got to make sure that you keep them accountable for this shit. You make sure that you keep them accountable, man. And that's good to see. It's good to see that he lost his position, um, which if I was speaking honest, if I was being, uh, which I think Shakur Stevenson set him up. That's my honest opinion about his relationship with Keyshawn Davis with Shakur. I think Shakur, there was a caller one time on the Boxing Voice. They got a short made of his video. He said it the best. He said it the best. He broke it down the best for me. He was like, yo, Shakur took your TO fight. He was supposed to leave, drop back down from 140, 135, and leave that TO strap. And because he was running around saying, I'm not a 140 pounder, I'm 135 pounder, Shakur Stevenson. And then he pushed you to go to 147. Like Shakur Stevenson set you up for failure, my man. Keyshawn. All your opportunities, it seemed like Shakur blew them for you. And I don't know, Keyshawn, bro, but I think you're in the position because a little bit of yourself, your decision making, and Shakur Stevenson. If I'm on the outside looking in, brother, that's what it's looking like to me. Shakur set you up for failure. Yeah. He took your TO fight. He didn't move out of 130, leave that belt for that you can be there at 140. He forced you to go up to 147 to fight Devin that he never signed up for the smoke. That he could have fought Devin numerous of times. All Shakur got to do is go like this. Devin Haney offered him a fight for 4 belts and send him 2 offers. Then Shakur admits he knew about the offer and then later retracts and said that Jay Prince never told him about it. Shakur, you're just looking really bad. You're just fighting guys that are not on your level that you can beat. And miraculously, you take the fight knowing you could beat the guy and you still don't want to exchange with him. And you call that boxing. You know, what Shakur tries to do is he wants to feed you the sweet science. And for a while, I was with him. But I no longer view it as a sweet science no more. Because there has to be something sweet behind the science you're putting down. The science you can't be putting down can't be sour. Just because you're not getting hit and you're trying to lure him in, bait him to make the mistake, that's not boxing. That's not boxing. You're using one part of boxing and trying to translate it to the fans like, this is what I'm doing, the sweet science, hit without being hit. No, yes, you're right. That is one part of boxing. That's not boxing in a whole. In the middle of this, there must be contact. You must dominate your opponent. Put him down if you can. You understand? Going to the scorecards is a part of boxing when you can't finish your opponent. Just recognize that. What you're actually doing, Shakur, is saying, opponent after opponent, I can't finish you. You stay in the same game plan. The counter row, hit without being hit, using your footwork. Yeah, that's one part of boxing. You do this time and time and time again. That by time we got to the William Cepeda fight, you fought William Cepeda in the pocket. In the pocket. You literally beat William Cepeda at his own game. I gotta give you that. But by the time we got there as fans with you, it was too far in between. You didn't finish Tio. Tio, that was leaving his back leg. You had him in a very compromising situation. If you were so skilled and so ferocious, you should have attacked. But what you did was hop back on the back foot, flare out, spin Tio back to the center of the ring, and work your jab again. Get him in the same compromising boxing situation and back off. You did it all night. You hit him with some good shots, but Tio just looked like he was frustrated because you weren't fighting. Then you decided to fight. It's just Shakur, man. Look, I know your style. I know your strengths. The people are saying, we don't want to see that shit. We know when we go see a Gervonta Tank Davis fight, we don't go to the scorecards. It's very rare, like, okay, that Issa and the Lamont Roach. And that's probably the last things on a lot of people's mind, whatever. But before that, and I mean all Gervonta's fights, knockout, knockout. Yeah, his opponents, but exciting, but exciting. You know, tell me something. Are you going to remember that Zuffa card for the event, the fights that took place? Or because of that knockout McKenna did? You're going to remember that knockout is going to go on highlight reels. It's going to live forever in boxing. That knockout. 20 years from now, they're going to be they're going to be, hey, remember this? Like that. Are they going to go, hey, remember when Shakur Stevenson went 12 rounds with Edwin De Los Santos? Let's watch it. You think they're going to do that? Or they're going to look at this knockout and they're going to go, man, listen, on this day, on this time, on Zuffa 10, McKenna, yo, you want to see somebody get lifted off it? Check it out. Right? They're not going to say, gather around. Yo, hey, let's watch a Shakur fight. Goes the distance, 12 rounds. Okay? Don't worry about it. Okay? Just like every Shakur Stevenson fight. The distance. Okay? Okay, let's watch it. You know what I mean? Right? He's not on a lot of highlight reel knockouts. For as talented as he is, the name of the game is chances. Okay? Terrence Crawford, he's been knocked down. I guess not officially, right? Neil Yanoway's been knocked down. Oh, another great. David DeMonster Benavidez has been knocked down. A lot of guys not knocked out, not finished, have they? Okay, so why were those guys put down with stun knockdown punches? Because they were in there taking chances. They were close enough to the other guy. They can dance on the outside, use their jab, make the fight a little lackluster, but they can manage to win. No knockdown would have occurred to either of those guys. The way David DeMonster Benavidez was on attack. He was on attack mode coming forward. He crossed his legs and he got caught in the movement. And he got put down. It was a stunt knockdown. I bet he felt a little embarrassed, right? He got up, dusted homeboy off. Naoya Inoue knocked out both the guys that put him down. How did Naoya Inoue get knocked down? He was chasing Roman Cardenas. He literally was chasing after him. Naoya Inoue chasing a guy? Bro, he must have not respected Roman Cardenas. He wanted the knockout. You know, big punches fall in love with knockouts. But he was in there taking chances. And he got caught. And it seems like Shakur doesn't want to take chances, man. I'm upset with him in a little bit. I'm harsh on him. I can be critical. But I still love him for boxing. He's one of the top dogs in the sport. He's now signed to Zuffa, which I find myself calling UFC. I don't know why. If I do that, just let me know, right? The correlation in their belt is so similar. And the bald-headed white dude that's running around Dana White, right? So it's hard to, sometimes I got to remind myself to call them Zuffa. Um, so I feel that, look, man, Shakur's one of the top guys. He's got to do something. I can't, sit here and want to think that I'm being a little bit too harsh on him. He's from Newark, New Jersey. That's where I was born, bro. And I'm like, man, Shakur, like, do your thing, baby, right? But he's he's not he's not moving right. He's just not. You don't call out all these guys and fight nobody and then hightail it to Zuffa. It doesn't give off the right impression. Then, like Devin, where he finds himself in, right? Okay. If Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney fight was real, like I told you, that fight is bullshit. They used that fight for the smoke screen to set up Keyshawn Davis. Bill Haney did this. He's like, no, we really want the Shakur fight. That's like Zuffa saying, we don't want to fight for belts. Well, fuck the belts. We don't want nothing to do with the belts, but you keep fighting for belts. Jayo Pataya, Richard Hitchens, you got him. You just got McKenna, the IBF, and isn't Connor Ben fighting Ryan Garcia? You say you don't, but you do another. That's all he's doing. With this whole situation, and it's like Devin knew he wasn't going to fight Shakur, and I think Shakur knew that too. How do I know that? Okay, how do I know that? Here we go. When the Keyshawn Davis fight fell apart, did Shakur Stevenson's name come up? Or did Jack Catterall and Liam Parl's name come up? The fight you was trying to get that was in the middle of your roadblock to the biggest fight you wanted, because you guys allegedly were going to agree to Shakur, allegedly to what you're feeding us. The reason why we couldn't fight Shakur because Keyshawn Davis stuck his nose in the middle. Because we didn't want the Keyshawn fight. We wanted the Shakur fight. The Haneys are saying that. Soon as the Keyshawn Davis fight fell apart, where was Shakur Stevenson? Why was the next name out of your mouth Liam Parle, then Jack Catterall, then Liam Parle? I told you, Shakur Stevenson was a smokescreen, a diversion to set up Keyshawn Davis. Wyatt is kept. The more I talk, maybe Shakur Stevenson helped set up Keyshawn Davis. He brought him to Devin. And he acted like, yo, if you fight him first, I'll fight him next. Didn't he say that to Ray to fight Oshaki Foster? Raymond Ford? Didn't Shakur send him on a likely mission? But he never fought Raymond Ford. All of a sudden, they made it look like he was going to fight Shakur, but Keaton got hyped up, and all them dudes was like, nah, put in the paperwork, dude. You should be fighting Devin. They pushed him out there on the ledge. Keyshawn ate that shit up, found himself in front of Devin, was like, oh shit, right? And then Shakur was out in the back, unscathed. After the fight falls apart, unscathed, still. A tweet? Oh, you still want to fight at 140? You couldn't play it off better than that? You guys set up Keyshawn. And the more I think about it, I think Shakur was in on it. They cheered Keyshawn in Norfolk. He got quick star status. He started getting bigger than Shakur. Quicker. And Shakur's like, I'm on the pound for pound list, and y'all ain't paying me this? Y'all about to pay this man this? I think he set him up right now. I don't got nothing I can prove that on. But though, yo, man, I'm starting to connect the dots. Like, and I don't want to start to like be like conspiracy theorists. Dog, I know a setup when I see one. That's all I'm gonna say. Yo, Shakur, you let all these dudes to their doom. And as a leader to all of them, you haven't stepped up. Yeah, you did fight Teofimo Lopez. Okay, cool. Teo, I'm gonna say he's a good boxer. You know, not a boxer in that sense of the sweet science, but boxer as in the sense he knows how to fight. Okay? He's former world champion, unified. He had 3 belts. Okay. So Teo was cracking down there at 130 at one upon a time. Shakur is just better at the art of boxing than Teo is. I would have liked to see Teo with a great coach, a great trainer. You know, I love Teo's dad. Love him. I love the guy. But if he loved his son, he would get him better coaching. Uh, Teo's got all the way up here with talent. He's still young enough where you could still teach an old dog new tricks, I believe. And you don't have to like start Teo over. You already got a good foundation with what he knows about boxing. Just add to it. Add a couple more punches, a little bit more to his arsenal, giving him a bit more understanding about movement and the human body. You know, he might have to go to school, back to school for that, boxing school, and learn about, you know, instinctively. I think Teo does that. Um, no one explained that to him, but the more you understand, you know, and also understand cause and effect. There's a lot of fighters that don't understand the concept cause and effect. If I do this, you do this. I do this, you do that. Cause and effect. If I'm this far on the outside of you, you can only hit me with that hand. If you go to, I can parry, check. Cause and effect. It's what I'm looking for. Some fighters just off instinct. They just pop, 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 just throwing punches, boom, boom. They're not thinking cause and effect. Other fighters are thinking counter, timing. Counter and timing, very important. Saul is a master at timing. He's one of the best boxers that'll catch you coming out of your guard. He catches you in small windows too. He's really good at it. Naoya Inoue is a good timing, but I think what makes Naoya Inoue so good is his position to throw the punch. He's got good torque, and he's always seems to have the advantage when it comes to the striking. He's he's not your traditional fighter where we're taught to keep your foot on the outside. Naoya Inoue is a good inside fighter. He'll have you messed up because you'll be thinking, get my foot on the outside so I can get the exchange. Naoya does things, but he's so good that even when you're saying to yourself, why is he going to the left? Right? You're not catching him. He's still on the inside of you. And what makes him special, Naoya Inoue, and I've seen this of late, made me go back and watch a lot of the old fighters to see if they understood the concept of throwing a punch. A lot of people, there's a lot of wasted movement actually in punching that I knew. And the wasted movement comes from this small motion. When you go like this, that's a wasted movement. There's no need to do this. You think you're cocking your hand back so that you can get momentum, but you can get that same momentum and a better reaction from just going from here forward. This is a wasted movement. When I learned how to fight and I would throw a jab, I would always do this first and then go forward. This would go back and then forward. That's what made me slow. Like that. And you don't even realize you're doing it. You got to train to punch like this, like George Foreman does. George Foreman, there's no way, and he was able to punch so hard. You're going to realize that it's really in your snap. You don't believe it because you want wind up. You think wind up is going to give you a big punch or reaction. You ever see those guys try to wind up at those amusement fairs and they try to hit that big ball? They try to wind up and they do miserable. Then you see that one girl, she's like this, boom. You know what I mean? Because she's she's bringing it from here. She's moving like this, she's snapping like that. And it's from here to here, like that. Just snap it. Like this, like that, like that. Just snap it. That's it. And when I used to do it, I always used to throw punches. And even my jab, I noticed I would lift my elbow, then extend. That's a wasted movement. And especially when I learned later in life that your jab is probably thrown better from here down, because you can't, when you're here, you can see where it's coming from. From here, you can play with it and you can switch it up. You can switch it up, right? Okay. So, but when he gets close, don't play around. When he gets, you're like here, when you're out and you're measuring your distance, you're not impairing your vision. So you're out here and you're looking for it. So you're leaning in, you're enticing him. You want him to throw it, you roll back, counter over his shot. Counter, hit to the body, come up with the check, right? And when you do it, snap your feet like this. Your feet, your ball of your foot gotta go like that. It's gotta move with you. You snap, you spam like that, right? So, it's technique. It's technique. Once you start to learn this, I wish I would have learned that shit when I was younger, but I also wish I would have had the discipline to stay in boxing. You know, I ran with the wrong crowd myself because that's all I needed. Boy, I tell you, and but when I watch boxing now and I'm watching, and then I'll go downstairs and I'll get to the tires outside or the bag and I'll try it. And boom, boom, boom. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, man, right? And it's never too late to teach an old dog new tricks. Never. And I practice, like hitting the shot and stuff. And I think back and I say to myself, man, with all the shit that I thought I know that I didn't know that I know now, I was doing pretty good without all that shit. Like even with but yeah, okay, it's not in the ring, it's in the street and stuff, not proud of it. But I still was doing things instinctively. And later to find out, like either I was that far off on something or that close on something, just instinctively, just myself. What I learned as a kid, like I didn't, I wasn't trained by no master coach. Although my coach ended up coaching a world champion. Oh, okay. Well, I can say that. My coach did coach a world champion. I never looked at it like that. Also, I had a world championship coach. Oh shit. Wait, hold up, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? My coach was good enough to make a champion, Jose Rivera. Yes, he did. That man trained me. I had world class training. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even know it. Oh, I could have been a champion. I could have been a contender. Now round one lost his mind. Listen, Jose was dedicated. That man was dedicated. All right. We took two different paths. But hey, it is what it is. Um, but yeah, I never looked at it like that. I never actually looked at it like that. I might have said it. I'm repeating. I'm saying, like, yeah, Jose, like, coach brought you to a world title, man. That was awesome. But I never made it click. Like, you know what I'm saying? Can I talk to your son? True Power Media. Classic round one. What up? What up? Frontline's MIA? Nah. To tell y'all the truth, Frontline's probably not even looking at his phone. Because at round one sports talk, we don't do Mondays. I don't do Mondays. Mondays I usually hang around with the wife, get a lot of the shit done, the chores and shit. But this Monday we did the cookout, the grill. The grass was wet, so I couldn't mow it because it's gonna stick under the blade and make like that thick wet shit. So it's not worth cutting it. He's just gonna hack up your grass. So I didn't do none of the yard work today. I attended to my daughter, shit like that. I got all the morning shit out the way and shit. So I don't do Mondays. So Frontline is tweaking at his house right now. He's like jonesing for boxing. He doesn't even know we're probably on. You know what I'm saying? Frontline, you know? And I was just like, look, I wanted to go on talk a little bit because I always enjoy talking boxing, but the microphone. As soon as I cut this live, I swear to God, if I go back and I fucking start hearing this thing, all the Boston right now is coming out of me right now. I want a fucking water. Listen, let me tell you something. I'm gonna fucking smash this fucking microphone right on the ground. I'm just gonna fucking take the microphone and I'm gonna toss it around like this, and I'm just gonna fucking DDT the motherfucker, right? Hey, listen, right? Be- this mic, look, it's a fucking quality mic, and I know it's me. I know it's that I'm not doing something right, and then like my dumb ass, like I'm not gonna say I'm dumb because I start doing this podcast or YouTube channel and shit like that, and all of a sudden they want me to know amps, watts, microphones, fucking bro. I I'm not that Puerto Rican, bro. Like my cousins used to call me over and shit. Come over. And I'm like, what up? They're like, yo, can you connect my speakers and my car stereo? And they're like 17 years old. And I'm like their older cousin or uncle. And I look at them and I'm like, bro, not all Puerto Ricans can put a car stereo in a fucking Honda, bro, or a Toyota. But I'll pay for it to somebody to put it in because that's what I do. I'll just pay it. Here, you put it in my car. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I don't physically do the work. You know what I'm saying? That's not my expertise. You know what I'm saying? You think I'm Puerto Rican? I can put in a car stereo? Fuck out of here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, no. But I'll have it. I'll pay for it to have you put in and shit. You know what I'm saying? But so they expect me to know all this shit, and I'm seeing all these other dudes. They hooking up their mic quick, right? And they lucked out. They got like the software plug and go. That's what they tell me, man. I plugged this shit and went. It was fucking like studio quality. And I'm like, my shit's not like that. I had to buy some expensive shit, and you got to do this shit right. It's not that plug and go fucking $100, $200 shit that you just plug in and yeah, it sounds great and everything. So I wanted to be like, I wanted to do it right. And it fucked me off for months. I can't get this fucking mic to sound the way I want it to sound. And today I got like, I started watching more tutorials, even though I watched 100 of them, none of them fucking help. So I watched this one today and shit, and I think I got shit right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if I talk loud, it cuts out what I'm doing wrong yet, but I'm on a hunch. I got ideas. I got ideas here. I think the software is correct. Um, then I had to learn about BTUs. It's like you want the microphone to be between 12 BTUs and 18 B. I'm like, what the fuck is a BTU? And then they talk like if you already know all this shit. So I want you to go to your software, look down and ZYK, and it's gonna pop up, and then you're just gonna zip file that. What's a zip file? Like, no, like whoa, 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 man, like so it's listen, it's been a journey to get myself here. Apparently, when it comes to putting shit together, I got that under control. Okay. I'm very creative dude, you know what I'm saying? By the way, if you don't know this about round one, I'm a bit of an artist. I've been drawing all my life. Airbrush, stencil, finger paint. I paint with oils, canvas, paint portraits. Um, I've done it all. You name it. I've made comic books, shit like that. I'm real artistic when it comes to like when I was a kid. I used to just sit in the back of the class. My shit would fly, right? Teacher wouldn't even throw it away. He would keep it and shit. And like my table. I remember I came back the next year and my shit was still on the table. So it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Not the best I've ever seen. I'm not the best artist in the world. I never claimed to be, but um, I was, when it comes to like fucking making shit look like when I was a kid in my room, you should have seen my room. Bro, man, yo, me, Greg, oh shit, I said his whole name. He's my best friend, Greg, when I was growing. One of my best friends, because Josh was too. Josh was my real best friend. Then I met Greg, and Greg like lived underneath. Well, when I met Greg, nah, he lived in that White House, and that's where we did the first mural. We stole like all these paints from his store and shit, airbrush shit, and we stood up for like 4 days in his house, and we did like the New York City background, because it was like New York was like we're living in Massachusetts and towards Boston, and we're doing New York City and shit. That's how popping New York was, right? And we did the huge Statue of Liberty in his room like this. It was leaning sideways. We did the New York Bridge across like that, and we did all the buildings and all the buildings like we spaced it out. We put glow in the dark paint in the windows. So when you turned off the light in the room, all the windows, the moon, and the light fixtures, and all the lights on the bridge all glowed and shit. It was dope. We did a hell of a job, bro. Yo, we did the whole city lining, everything. It was dope, man. For kids, we recorded it on our boosted VHS cassette. We had one of those big ones where the VH cassette goes in. I wonder if we still got that tape. Bro, I would love to see that tape. Greg, you hear me? You got that tape? Let me see that shit. Yo, we was like, we took turns just and the airbrushes is not like spray paint. It's not like a can of spray paint. We had like two compressors going, two airbrush. Well, we had like four. When one would clog, we would take the other one like that on the rag and just keep going. Just keep going. And then when we got like the green solid color. Yo, it was a crazy project. From there, they just got better throughout the years. Like we did that, my next room, forget about it. The next room after that, forget about it. You know, I had some dope shit up there. I was like one of the only kids in my neighborhood that on a weekly basis, I had fresh jeans and there was murals on the side of them. It was like either my name or had like a wizard. Greg used to put like uh what's that little fucking cartoon? He's a little cartoon in the magazines. He had like a little dog. He was popping back then. I forget his name. Ozzy? Some shit like Greg like used to put like Ozzy on his shit. And The Simpsons back then. The Simpsons. I put one time on a shirt. Um where did we get that idea from? One time we was like selling like shirts and shit in the back of the trunk of the car at the carnival. And I put down on a shirt, let's get some barbecue chicken and get busy. But I forgot what was the song at the time. It was busy, some shit. It was popping. I remember I did that. And them sold like that. We sold all them shirts that time. Man, bro, I used to draw like a motherfucker, bro. But I haven't painted or drawn or anything in, I don't know, 2, 3 years. I doodle every day or something. I'll do something, some shit. But yeah, I haven't painted seriously or drawn for a long time. That was pretty nice though. It's really nice. But I quickly saw, yeah, I was like one time in my head, I'm gonna be a famous artist, right? Until I learned that the majority of artists die broke and your paintings never become famous until you die, unfortunately. Because an artist, what makes the value of the painting is that the fact that there will never be another painting painted by that man, period. That's what's going to make that artwork rare. So you would have to die for your artwork to like, like Rembrandt, all them dudes, Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, all them dudes, they're rolling over in their grave right now, like in awe of how much of their paintings are being sold. But when they were alive, those men didn't have a plate to eat. But yet their paintings are priceless, like priceless. And they never enjoyed not $1 for that painting because that painting did not become rare or priceless until he died. So then that's when I was just like, you know, maybe artwork might not be the way to go. And my whole family used to tell me, Ellen, you draw great. You do this. Why don't you do that? Why you ain't doing nothing with this? And I'm just like, in the art world, I don't know. If you don't catch, you don't catch. And if you're not the best, like I've went to like interviews with like portfolios and shit, sitting in the lobby with some of them dudes, I knew I was out of my league. They had some artists in there that if they were starving with the shit they had, I was like, oh, hell no. They were on a total different level than I was. Like, I mean, for real. You should have seen some of these, and they couldn't find work. I was like, yeah, I'm good. I just really didn't pursue it. Like that, because, I don't know. But it's just something if I ever wanted to do it, like I can do a whole bunch of shit. I know I'll probably be off right now. Like my artwork will probably be off, but I know if I picked up and fucked around with it a little bit, that shit'll come back quick. It should have come back. But anyway, fight fans, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for locking in. Um, I'm gonna go back and check this mic. We got more boxing coming up for the rest of this month in August. So we got some boxing, even Clarissa Shields, the ladies, Amanda Serrano, all that, um, a lot of women are they're starting to. You just seen the fight card just kick off the other night. Um, I didn't have the privilege to check that fight card out. It was on another network, and I wasn't paying another subscription for ESPN Plus. I had just canceled that not even a few months ago. Then they signed with the Zone. So I was like, man, but shout out to the ladies still. Okay. They're out there banging, training hard. So shout out to the ladies. And we have a lot of fights to come up. So listen, I will be back on the next one. Today's a light day, Monday. I hope I gave you something good to watch. Maybe enjoy, just sit back and, you know, and I hope I made you laugh. Most importantly, God bless. I hope all is well in your neck of the woods. And I will be seeing you on the next one. But do me a favor before you go. Reach down and hit that like button for me. I need to get in good graces with the algorithm again. So do your boy that solid favor. Enjoy the rest of your night. I will see you on the next one here at Round One Sports Talk.